Greetings and welcome to all those who might be watching this short video presentation on YouTube. Today is Sunday, May 26, 2024. Subject of this presentation would be testing, grading, examination and scoring, as well importance of those testing and scoring and grading. This is opportunity for me to tell everybody who was doing and preparing such a thing, and including every regular person in this country, which consists of 330 million Americans. The issue is usually related for consistency of inspections on the construction site when you build some new buildings, usually larger one, in which it is impossible to have one inspector for all inspections at all times. Then you have to send 2 or 3 or 4 inspectors. And now owners and contractors are complaining that inspectors are not consistent. They are right. Inspectors are not consistent. And it is really not possible to be consistent. And I will explain to 330 million why. Well, let me put it this way. I am 75 years of age with a higher education as well, and I never ever met anybody who scored a lifetime 100% in every subject, every test, every occasion for a lifetime. Neither did I do myself. That is simply impossible. If you did, let me know, and I will apologize and admit that you were right and I was wrong. Now let's explain why and the reasons. As I already mentioned, it is not possible. It's impossible, period. Nobody could know everything, and codes are ton of material to memorize, and nobody could do that. And nobody is carrying ton of books. 9, 10 books carrying on the shoulders and to do inspections and go quickly into reference and spend time searching through the book and says, this is the one. No, that doesn't work that way. We, as a society, understanding that we are coming to conclusion that it is not possible to have 100 score, then we are going to accept less than 100 score, but we still put some bar which says minimum, and that minimum is in general 60%, exception in some cases maybe even 55%, but in generally we grade those scores from A, B, C, D, passing scores, as well F as a failing grade, and in some cases there is E, which is kind of essential, just the minimum of minimums. Now the score A is somewhere between 90 and 100%. Score B is 80 to 90. Score C is 70 to 80. And score D is around 60 to 70%. Anything below 60%, 59 or less, is considered failing grade. And we don't allow those with less than that to practice anything they were preparing. They have to overpass that issue. Now, meaning of that scoring. The score D, which is minimum for 60%, means at the same time that person being tested, he or she may score 60%, meaning that that person doesn't have any clue whatsoever for 40% of that questioning materials. But we, as a society, understanding problems, we accept them, allow them to start practicing and building up their careers and improving. Related to that, I will just expand this different way, 2 things. One, it is my own experience in inspections, real life experience and conversation. And that happened in Cleveland, Ohio, in the St. Vincent Hospital, which is close to downtown of the city of Cleveland, and across the local community college called Cuyahoga Community College. One electrician, aged about 28-30, leading about 8 to 10 electricians, did perfect job on roughing stage as well perfect job on final stage. And upon finishing all those inspections, being very, very satisfied with his work, in the vicinity of us there were a group of 4 or 5 architects and engineers looking and nitpicking for other contractors, not electricians, details which are not perfect, and giving a contractor quite a bit of a hard time, quite a bit arrogantly. And then, after noticing that, I go directly to the electrician in front of them, and kind of pushing and kind of arrogantly, but aggressively start talking to in front of them to notice it, telling electrician, young man, I am very, very, very satisfied with your work. Excellent. Just keep up with hard work. And I notice that you are very, very sharp and bright guy. And I will strongly suggest to you that you take some courses across the street in this local college, community college. And you don't need to finish it in 2-3 years. Nothing's wrong with 10 years. And when you are at the age about 40 or so, less likely you will like to continue this work, but you will probably more to choose to start designing instead of installation. And you will, let's say, youngsters pick up the tools and continue where you stopped. And they were eager, these guys, architects, engineers, were listening and quite a bit. And then he goes to me and says, Mr. Inspector, I will do that first opportunity I will have because you are second person telling me the same thing. Who was the first one, I asked. That was my own father. What your father told you? He said, he didn't tell me anything. He was asking me the question. He said, son, what do we call guy who just finished medical school with the lowest possible grade? And I noticed that as a kind of tricky questions, and I was very cautious not to say anything until I clarify things. And I says, I don't know what you mean. He repeated. I repeated again. Father, I don't have a clue. I don't know what you mean. He goes the third time. I said, I still don't know what you mean. He goes sarcastically, says, son, let's go. Let's break it into 2 parts. What do we call guy who just finished medical school with lowest possible grade? And I said, doctor. Yeah, bravo, very good. You are right, doctor. And with lowest possible grade? Still doctor. Yeah, still doctor. We better not to know how little these guys know. Otherwise, we will never visit them. Now, I will, after these 2 jokes, I will tell you why testing is important. Now, one joke, both of them is related to the profession of lawyers, attorneys. One guy who just finished law school came home and his father is asking him, son, what kind of job do they have, those top-notch lawyers? Oh, father, big companies, Fortune 500 companies, big position, big money, big salaries. What about those middle-class lawyers? They start their own practices. What about low-quality lawyers? They become judges. This is just a sarcasm a little bit on the judges who are being elected, not appointed. Now, second one is for honesty or dishonesty of lawyers. Guy just finished law school, come home and start searching for the job, but no prospects, and he was so frustrated. But his father already had established law office. He said, son, Instead of waiting and doing nothing, why don't you join me in the office and take a case or two and start practicing? I will pay you and it will be useful for you and me. And whenever you have opportunity for the interview, go. Don't wait. Just go and try it. Good idea. He goes in the father's archive and starts searching. And he found one case which was on the court for 8 years. Took that one and go on the court and finish it first visit. And come back to the office and kind of start bragging and arrogantly says, "Oh, father, you see, I'm much better than you." Father goes sarcastically, "What do you mean, son?" "Well, you drag this case for 8 years and I finish it first time." And father starts laughing. He said, "Hey, my dear son, if I was doing what you did, I will not be able to afford to pay for your education." That is the lesson for everybody. And why testing is necessary? Well, let me put it this way. If you didn't get tested, that means you didn't need to study anything. And if you didn't study anything, how you could, for God's sake, know about subject, anything? I don't know anybody in the world that was born with a full knowledge of everything in existence. Example is, let's say professor of chemistry is professor. He knows quite a bit, professor or anything else. Doctor of law, quite a bit educated person. He never studied anything about codes, any codes, period. Never open book, never even know what is requirements, didn't know what codes are in existence. Now you will allow them to pass a judgment on professionals in the field like electricians, plumbers, building guys, and mechanical guys, do you? But the same token, yes, if you do, then in that case, yes, they are highly educated people, but you have a child or family member who has a brain surgery, needs brain surgery. Would you accept any of those I mentioned to take care and do surgery of your relatives or son? I don't think so. You will be stupid if you do that. Somebody might be astronaut going on the moon, but never studying any of these. And you will let him to pass the judgment or to be surgeon of the brain. No, you don't do that. It is necessary to take some study and prove you master those studies, at least it's 60% of the grading in the high school and colleges, or scoring in the testing of the code compliance with score, not a grade, not a percentage, but a score of 75, which is not the same, it is different. I might one day explain it in details. Depends on the difficulties of the questions. And now, this last point of importance I'm trying to put across the board to the brains of all those in the hierarchy of every country, every state, every county, every city who has a building department, and consider that if somebody did not take examination, didn't need to study anything, and if he didn't study anything, he was definitely not born with the knowledge, and on that reason not supposed to be put in any position of the authority of somebody who is real professional. Otherwise will create lots of problems and lawsuits and who knows what. And I know communities which they are doing that, which is wrong and has to be corrected. And I will work on that one, that I help them to understand, realize that, and do something to make corrections. And for today, it will be sufficient conversation for short videotaping. People will be willing to spend 10 minutes for watching instead of 2 hours or something like that, like a movies. But at the same time, I could just say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on some other video recording in the near future. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.